Hello and welcome, everyone. We are here playing Masks Golden No More, session 3 of 5. This is part of the Gauntlet Comics summer crossover. I'll be your GM this evening. My name is Alexi. You can find out all about the game we're playing tonight and many other fun role-playing games being played online by checking out the Gauntlet community at gauntlet-rpg.com. This game has been organized through the Gauntlet. Several of the players are members of the Gauntlet. And the game we're playing is Masks, a game of teenage superheroes published by Magpie Games. So definitely check out Masks and Magpie Games if you like what you see on this video. We are playing a game set in the Golden Age. That is the World War II era, right? From when comic book heroes got started. So we're taking Masks, which is by default set in the modern era, and shifting it back in time all the way to the Golden Age. And we're playing it in New Gauntlet City, which is the setting of the Gauntlet Comics continuity. So a number of Gauntlet games are set in this increasingly sprawling comic book continuity of Gauntlet Comics and New Gauntlet City. We hope that serves as kind of an Easter egg for folks who've played in multiple series or are fans watching multiple Gauntlet Comics games, and isn't a barrier to entry for folks just hopping in. The idea is that every series can serve as a new jumping on point into this fictional comics imprint with its many different games, both of superhero games and of other games that we've managed to fit into this superhero city, New Gauntlet City. And this game in particular is part of the Gauntlet Comics summer crossover, where we're playing a number of games in different eras of New Gauntlet City, all themed around the idea that the Gauntleteer is missing. Yes, the most storied and best beloved hero of New Gauntlet City, the wielder of the gauntlet that takes on many forms over the different eras of New Gauntlet City, has gone missing. And what's worse, seems to have been plucked from the memories of the people of New Gauntlet City. And so our heroes, in this case our young heroes, are the ones who remember the Gauntleteer, and they will have to try to discover what has happened to him in this era. Speaking of our heroes, let's introduce our players. Starting with just yourself as a player, we'll introduce ourselves saying your name, your pronouns if you wish, and your online handle if you so desire. I'll kick us off. My name is Alexi, he, him, and you can follow all of my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. So be sure to check out Cloven Pine Games on Twitter and my Cloven Pine Games itch.io store. Stephen, you want to take us, tell us about yourself next?
Sure, I'm Stephen Desjardins, he, him pronouns. You can find me at stdesjardins on Twitter.
Wonderful. Leah, you're up next.
I'm Leah, she, her. I'm on Twitter. Good luck.
And we've got Dan. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm Dan Brown, he, him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Brownorama.
Good to have you here. Last but not least, Brian.
Hey, I'm Brian, he, him. You could probably find me on the internet, but please don't.
Very good, very good. Well, good to have you here. Let's now go around and introduce the characters. So tell us whatever's most salient about your Masks player character, your young hero here in World War II era New Gauntlet City. Stephen, start us off. Tell us about your character.
I'm playing Raggedy Jan, who is the delinquent playbook, and apparently the leader of the team, which she hasn't quite figured that out yet. But she also has a non-costumed identity as Mary Annika Barushka, a cub reporter for the Iron Fist, a communist newspaper. She's kind of a thorn in the sides of the political structure, both as a leader of a super team and as intrepid muckraker. And her powers include illusion and psychic attacks.
I often forget to do this. Let me go ahead and pull up our character keeper so folks can see the image of Raggedy Jan there, and we'll keep this up as we introduce our other characters. Oh, Stephen, one last thing. What did we see Raggedy Jan? What situation Raggedy Jan in as we wrapped up our previous session? Can you give us the final panel recap for new readers?
Okay, you were kind of roboting there. I think you were saying how did we wrap up the last session?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, can you hear me any better now?
Yeah. It was just momentarily. It was distorted for me, and Yeah, at the end of the last session, we were fleeing this tenement where Solomon Industries had set up this secret lab where we found this mysterious diving bell-shaped object which contains something which might or might not be the Gauntleteer, or might or might not be associated with the Gauntleteer. We were hauling it out, and I think shortly after we hit the streets, we came across a newspaper van belonging to a rival paper, and we hotwired it because I don't think we want to be carrying this diving bell through the streets of New Gauntlet City. It might attract attention.
Fair enough. Okay, hot-wired newspaper van is our new getaway vehicle for the Sound Park saboteurs as they're making their way out of this Solomon Industries controlled building. Absolutely.
Yes, unfortunately, I have illusionary powers, so nobody will notice a 13-year-old driving a stolen newspaper van.
Great. All right. Leah, why don't you tell us about your character next?
Absolutely. So I'm playing Phantom Pain, who used to be a Doomed in other Allied Angels games and is now in what is an upgrade, a Harbinger, who hasn't so much traveled from the future as had the future travel to her, so that the Legion of Dead, who have died directly as a result of the Gauntleteer being missing, so they say, have come here to warn her about what the Allied Angels have to do to stop this grim future from occurring. The trouble is all the dead talk at once, so her images of what exactly is going on in the future and how it connects to the present are a little muddled.
Yeah, that's right. We have our Harbinger, Phantom Pain, formerly of the Allied Angels, now of this this new team that I don't think has chosen a name for itself, but has been, dubbed by unfriendly observers the Sound Park Saboteurs after the destruction caused during their first team up. What do we see as a kind of little recap panel for Phantom Pain coming off of this last adventure?
I think it's that image of her with, the River of the Dead washing around her ankles and dragging down one of the former Blitzkinder in what was definitely a heroic way to tackle a problem.
Nice. It's a little previously on showing how you unleashed the River of Death on these rebranded Nazi saboteurs who are now all star-spangled in red, white, and blue. Wonder what's that about. Wonderful. Dan, why don't you tell us about your character?
Sure. This is Esther Kushel. She goes by Blitz. She's a Janus, and she keeps her secret identity very, very close to the vest. I don't know that any of her teammates know who she is, though she goes to school with Clyde, aka Red Robe. She is a concentration camp survivor and used her powers, which were the result of some experimentation, to liberate the camp, and she and her grandmother fled to the U.S. She has lots of responsibilities, so in addition to being a superhero, she is a student, full-time student, high school student. She's a senior. She takes care of her grandmother still, and she works in her aunt and uncle's grocery store.
Very good, absolutely. And when we last saw you, you were actually heading away from the team, kind of off in your own direction from the end of that mission.
Yeah, I think she was feeling a certain amount of shame for not helping out as much as she could, and so I wonder if her panel is sort of her flying away, but we kind of see a narrative or a thought bubble that conveys the inner conflict she is feeling.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is comics. Feel free to have thought bubbles and caption boxes as part of what you describe on panel. Absolutely. Wonderful. Last but not least for tonight, Brian, why don't you tell us about your character?
Yeah, so I'm playing Red Robe, aka Clyde Carell. He is the Conduit Playbook, which is a homebrewed remix / update / improvement to the Nova playbook that I'm playtesting in this series. He's just like basically a regular dude carrying around a super powerful amulet that he doesn't understand. And to that end, I think the rewind, the like last time snapshot of Red Robe is the amulet unleashing itself and transforming what was previously a metal diving bell into some kind of a sealed wooden concoction. What could go wrong?
Yeah, that's right. The this diving bell you were trying to check out had suddenly been electrified by Blitz using her electrical powers, and you solved this problem by transmogrifying it into wood, and then your teammate Brawl just lifted it up and carried it out of there. And I think, and since we don't have Daniel with us this time, I think that probably in the confusion as you're running, there comes a point where Brawl ran off to distract some of the pursuing guards, pushing this diving bell into the back of the newspaper van that Raggedy Jan was in the process of hotwiring. So let's pick up with that. Raggedy Jan, it sounds like you were planning on driving this van.
Yeah, I think so.
And you've got Red Robe and Phantom Pain just like in the back with the now wooden diving bell.
That was my plan.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, you two push aside some stacks of the NGC Gazette, right, and to make room for yourselves and this big wooden sphere. It's a tight fit, but you're able to squeeze in. Raggedy Jan, where are you driving this subset of your team?
Right, well, this seems to be a science thing, and none of us are really science people, so I'm going to head for somebody who understands science stuff, which sounds like my good friend Rosie. Well, I don't particularly have good friends, but she's got a robot dog, so she must know about this science stuff.
Are you sharing this plan with the team?
Sure, why not? It's like we need to find somebody who knows about this science stuff. I got a friend named Rosie who's really smart.
I think Phantom Pain, pipes up to say that Rosie's been away for a little bit on her training program. She doesn't know when that's wrapping up. And then there's a little box, like comic book style, that says Rosie's last appearance in an Allied Angel comic, she was catapulted forward into the future.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
She has no idea when Rosie is coming back. Right. The agents are really hush hush, but there's definitely some of the like rivet experiments she was working on. We could ask for help at home, even if Rosie isn't there.
Oh, nice. Just like go to the Rockwell house and talk to a robot dog or like a backup of a robot dog and see if it can help you.
Yeah, sure, I have no idea why that wouldn't help. It's just in the garage.
I mean, I'm quite sure the robot dog is more qualified to solve this problem than any of us.
Okay. All right. So Phantom Pain and Raggedy Jan have this exchange. Red Robe, have you heard of Rosie Rockwell and her robot dog at all, or is this all new to you?
I think heard of very vaguely. I think it's probably, I'm still new enough to doing this for real that it's probably like I haven't encountered or interacted with her, but I don't think the name is unfamiliar, if that sounds right.
Yeah, that.
I think it hasn't really occurred to me that she's just like a person with a house that we could go visit, but I think I sort of like do know that she's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Raggedy Jan, you were doing using some sort of illusion to try and
just making myself look like a newspaper driver as opposed to
a little girl. Nice. So like the truck still looks the same. Right. It's just that you, as the driver, look more qualified to be driving it than you would
exactly
the illusion up. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, I think the Rockwells, live in one of the neighborhoods of New Gauntlet City, bordering Sound Park, where so much has happened for this team of young supers. And in fact, Phantom Pain has been living with Ma Rockwell, since she lost her own family. So, Raggedy Jan, you're definitely able to just drive there if that's your destination.
Yeah.
So this, you pull up in this newspaper van, right? Outside of a modest house, right, in kind of one of the like middle class neighborhoods of New Gauntlet City. I don't remember if we had established much about what time of day it was when you guys were doing your break-in.
It was nighttime, so it's probably like 3 a.m. maybe.
All right. So like you're pulling up in like the middle of the night. It sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, only a couple hours early for newspaper delivery, but.
And I've got a key to the house. Not that I always use it. Sometimes I just walk through the door. But Ma Rockwell asked me to not do that because she said it was unsettling.
Okay, yeah. So are you just letting your friends right in?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we'd go quietly through the house because it's the middle of the night, and then into the garage.
I am pretty inclined to stay with the, orb of indeterminate value, but would follow instructions from either of you if you gave it.
Right. Well, if we're going to the garage, I think we can just back the truck up to the garage.
Yeah, I think once we go through, we can just open the garage door and, bring in the orb.
Okay, I buy it.
Normal nighttime activities.
Phantom Pain. Yeah. Since we're getting a couple panels here then of like the gals sneaking through the Rockwell residence. What do we see in the Rockwell's kitchen or living room that shows how Phantom Pain has become a part of the household?
I think that you can just see that she's got Rosie's spot at the table for right now while Rosie is traveling, but there's now an extra chair that's in the dining table because they know Rosie will be home any day now, and so it's clear like that they've pulled away the extra chair that was there when they were both there all the time.
Got it. There's a place for Kathleen, for Phantom Pain, and a place reserved for Rosie. Yeah. So the two of you, Raggedy Jan, Phantom Pain, you're able to go to the garage. It's one of those like you have to lift up the door, right? So probably like takes a little effort to try to do that quietly since it's the middle of the night, you don't want to disturb any of the neighbors. But you're able to kind of lift up that back garage door and then just back the newspaper van in.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there might be some equipment for moving heavy objects in this garage. I wouldn't be surprised, but I mean, get this orb out of the van in somewhere where we can work on it.
Yeah, we'll say there's like a really kind of a really like rudimentary looking version of like a big like robot arm like your other friend Trailblazer once had on her big robot suit. Clearly this is a like attempt at reverse engineering or something, but it's still like it's like mounted on a stand. You can't like take it anywhere, but it's able to like pull a big orb out of a truck. Sure. Cool. Yeah. Red Robe, Raggedy Jan, Phantom Pain. You're now ensconced in a garage that's like littered with kind of basically bits and pieces of engineering and probably some things that just look like random trophies, snagged from weird superhero fights. Yeah, let's paint this scene. Red Robe, what do you see that looks like a kind of strange memento from a previous superhero outing?
Oh, there's like a super intricate but apparently unpowered like stick. It's like, is it a walking stick? Is it like a mage's staff? Was it like is it a key to a giant lock somewhere? Like, I have no idea. But it's just this like super detailed, carved, apparently wooden like cylinder.
Nice. Raggedy Jan, what do you see here that makes you miss Rosie?
There's like this helmet that used to belong to this German saboteur that we fought one time. It's like she's kept it as a trophy. It's like it's half smashed in where she punched the Nazis so hard it just smashed this helmet.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and Phantom Pain, you know where the kind of where to like pull back the tarp, right? That's covering the kind of basically like the backup version of Rivets the robot dog that Rosie was working on.
Absolutely, and I too have a detail to add about this garage, which
Yes,
is
please.
half crumpled on the floor but still visible is a rejected design for a propaganda poster that Rosie was working on as a favor to Raggedy Jan, and it says you may have to work with a red to put the Huns to bed. And there's like kind of a dramatic tucking in. It didn't gel really.
Yeah, a complicated idea to convey in a propaganda poster. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Phantom Pain. What's this kind of Rivets missing?
I mean, legs for one.
Yeah, so it's just like a torso and head of a robot dog just kind of stranded on this desk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a test thing for possible different heads or variations of it. So I think it's actually at the moment like got 3 different heads. Not that it necessarily uses all of them at once, but they all have like different qualities to them. Like one is meant to have high beams.
Okay, so like a little Robo Cerberus.
Legless Robo Cerberus.
Heck yeah.
Well, Red Robe, Raggedy Jan, Phantom Pain, you've brought your prize, right? This strange, wooden sphere to a relatively safe location. Raggedy Jan, I bet folks are looking to you. What do you do?
I'm looking at the sphere. Because we haven't had a chance to take a close look at it. We've been on the run this whole time. So, I mean, what does it look like? What are there any controls or anything on the outside?
No, it's now a smooth wooden sphere. I guess there was a spot where there was sort of a grill that you could see through, and that's still there, but it's now all wood. So there's no longer any kind of like window in because it's been entirely changed into wood.
I'm up to try and peek into it if we want to do that before we get Rivets' opinion.
Either you or me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to go ahead and roll that. That'd be an unleash, I am sure.
What do we see on panel then? What is Phantom Pain saying something to kind of volunteer to check out this mystery?
Yeah, I think the last thing we saw of her on the last one was her, considering with her hand poised over it, like sinking a hand through to see what was going on, right?
Yeah.
And so I think, she kind of puts her hand back on it and says, I think we should get all the information we have before we ask Semi-Rivets' advice. And then looks to you, Raggedy Jan, for approval.
Yeah, go ahead, but be careful. This thing is weird. We don't know how it's going to affect you.
And Phantom Pain smiles back with a smile she never would have had back when she was a doomed and says, I'm pretty weird too. Thanks everyone for pushing up my freak. Oh, thanks everyone for pushing up my freak, and yet not enough. That's a 6.
Oh.
I am very powerful and am responsible for the weirdness of this thing.
Honestly, Brian, I'm sticking my head into a mysterious.
Yeah. No, I know that. I'm
trying to agree with the dice.
I don't think I've ever seen you accept pool in the last like 24 games we played or something. I figured I'd ask.
So it sounds like you've rolled a miss then.
Yes, and I accept team to help defend other people, just not myself.
Please mark potential.
Oh dear.
We get a panel of we get a panel of like the outside of the sphere, right, with Phantom Pain kind of just like getting closer and closer to it, right? And then like there's a panel of the inside of the sphere, and for a panel it's just all bright purple, right? And then there's a panel of like Phantom Pain's, confused face, appearing like partially in this bright purple. And then you realize that you have, stuck your face into something that's extremely hard to describe in words, but you're used to kind of fitting strange things into words. So it feels almost like death is a river, right? It feels like you've stuck your face right into the fires of time itself. Please take a powerful blow.
Oh dear. All right, let's do it. No conditions for the moment. It's a 6.
You take those?
It's a 6.
How do you weather the blow?
I think you see her kind of at sea about what's going on, and then as she has that sense that there's this time itself. Oh yeah, and I mark potential. Sweet. That she kind of it's almost like you bring those two images together, and she realizes in contrast to all her experiences of the dead that she's had before, that there's the dead that are from the future are kind of limned with the same purple glow, and it's been hard for her to distinguish that as easily before, but now she understands, like, doing this totally foolhardy thing and enduring this blow has given her a new clarity about what she's doing. And I think, because of that, I'm going to push myself to remember the version of the Gauntleteer that exists in the future.
Oh, interesting. This is your connecting the dots move for the Harbinger.
Let's do it.
You're rolling at a 0 on this.
Let's see. I think so. Let me just look at the actual playbook for a second, because I don't remember if I forgot to increment that when I put one thing in here, or whether it starts at
-1. So when you put one thing, it goes up to 0. Yeah. When you push yourself to remember the version of someone that exists in your future, mark a condition and roll plus memory. So you do have to mark a condition to do this.
I can do that. All right. I'll mark let's go with afraid. I think you're just the sense of what a big thing she's part of now.
I will buy that sticking your face directly into the fires of time makes you a little afraid.
I will take one more potential, since that was a miss. And I will unlock my moment of truth with it.
Whoa. Okay. All right. On a miss, they're not at all who you thought they would be. The GM will choose their role or tell you that as far as you know, they don't exist in the future. Okay. So I think I think like as you're pushing yourself and like staring into this purple fire, like a figure starts becoming visible, but like we see Phantom Pain's like eyes kind of like going wide with fear as we
turning purple
and cut away from that for the moment. Yeah, but we'll be back there. We'll resolve that move. But I want to check in on Esther. Esther, when you kind of left-headed your own way from the fight at that Solomon Industries facility, where did you end up going?
I went home. I went back to go check in on my grandma. Feel like there was something I could do.
Yeah.
Right. Well.
Absolutely. Do the two of you live above like your aunt and uncle's shop? Like is their apartment attached to their? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm picturing a brownstone and the grocery store is on the ground floor, and my aunt and uncle occupy 2 floors, and we occupy the top floor.
Got it. So you're kind of have like a garret for you and your grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think she was waiting up for you. You've told her not to do that, I'm sure, but So you return and she says, Esther, I was so worried. Where have you been?
Meeting up with the team and doing our thing. We've got a beat on Solomon Industries doing some bad stuff to an old tenement. So we wanted to check it out.
She clucks her tongue a little. She says, "You can't let the Americans handle this. You have to be sticking your nose in, because we don't want to jeopardize our place here, Esther."
It's funny. I pictured her. I'm happy to play this play, but I definitely pictured her as almost encouraging Esther's extracurricular activities.
Oh, that's fair. I was trying to remember how that conversation went.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it, but I feel like since her grandmother is not happy with the state of the world and with the evil in it, she feels like maybe Esther can make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. No, fair enough.
But she worries.
I think that's fair. Yeah. If we retcon anything there, right? It's that she does say she was worried sick, and she nods pensively, right, as you're kind of giving her a bit of the recap, right?
And maybe I say I'm feel like I'm having so much trouble controlling these powers that as I get older, the powers get more potent, and I'm having trouble holding them in check, and I worry that I let my team down this evening.
She sighs. She says, Esther, I don't know from these powers, but I know you are a young woman who does her best to never let people down.
You're right. I did try, and I did save that one guy from all those birds.
Birds. So many pigeons here. Terrible. Good work.
We hate the pigeons. So Brian's just said, when you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, tell them a secret about who you really are. Grandma knows who I am, but I was thinking about revealing myself to someone on the team.
Oh, interesting. You feel like you're.
I think we're at that point in the arc.
Yeah.
I feel like she might be motivated. That a pep talk from Bobby is encouraging her to go seek out the team to see if she can help at all.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, if she's saying, "Oh, Esther, let me fix you something. You take a load off, and then what is it you say? If you're saying like, no, my team needs me. The city calls. I have to go.
Yeah. No, I owe it to my team to make it up to them. And right now they're dealing with, it looked like a giant wooden ball. So I feel like they're going to need all the help they can get.
She looks like a little confused by the mention of a giant wooden ball, but she says again, Esther, powers, no powers. You're a person with a heart as big as this city, and that's what counts. And I'll toss that to you as a label shift should you choose to accept it. Freak down, savior up.
Interesting. I'll take it. Esther's generally uncomfortable with the savior label. It just doesn't fit her value system. But maybe being a little uncomfortable is a good thing. So you said freak down?
Freak down, savior up.
Okay. And that, I think, gives her enough of a boost. I feel like I might be able to guess that they're heading towards the Rockwells. But I'm happy to roll for that if I need to kind of think about it or skip, fly up and look around and see where that van ended up.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. We'll say you caught them hijacking the van, and so if you fly up above the city, maybe you see like a trail of kind of randomly dropped newspapers, right? Because I couldn't quite seal everything up, so there's like a little bit of something that that you can use to track them. We'll say. Yeah, I will give that to you, and we'll say that you can arrive when you'd like in the scene at the Rockwell garage. Does that work for you?
Sure. Is Red Robe outside, or did you go inside?
Red Robe
garage now, I think, because they are garage now.
Okay.
It sounds like you're interested in kind of buttonholing a teammate to have one-on-one.
Yeah, if he was definitely, if he was outside, I would have. Like, I'm kind of looking around to see if they'd left a lookout.
I mean, you can like come flying down and then like tap on the glass of like garage window, being like Red Robe.
I think I will just try and surreptitiously enter the room.
Nice. Okay, so mask on, electrical powers, just sort of try to sneak in, all subtle like.
Like I've been here the whole time, really. Yeah.
Sure. Phantom Pain was staring into the abyss. Raggedy Jan probably pretty focused on that. Red Robe, you've been like worrying what else this orb is going to do. So maybe you're the one who notices like the electrical crackle as Esther or as Blitz kind of makes her way in, acting all casual.
Right. I think I there's this moment of like bracing for attack, and then it's like, oh, it's Blitz. Why does everyone know where this house is? And I just sort of like go back to trying to figure out what the fuck happened with Phantom Pain.
Speaking of Phantom Pain, I'm just double checking the way this move works. Yeah, on a miss, they're not at all who you thought they would be. the GM will choose their role or tell you that as far as you know, they don't exist in the future. Surely the Gauntleteer exists in the future. I think the thing is, right, as you get these, ghostly whispers, right, suddenly becoming clearer. They're all saying monster, and for a moment there's a vision of the gauntlet itself, like that the Gauntleteer wears, right? But it's a kind of nasty, rusted, jagged version of the gauntlet, and it is squeezing the city until there's nothing left, right? Like that's the vision, and you get that memory though. You can write down Gauntleteer as a monster for your future.
Ay. All right. I think I pull my head back out of, this wooden orb that I've chosen to stick my head into. And, can I say that my eyes, like, at first are still glowing bright purple and it just gradually fades as I talk to my friends?
Yes, you also are like your face is a little bit on fire, right? Like, not so as you're noticing, but your friends definitely notice that Phantom Pain has like kind of purple flames, on her face as she pulls it out of the orb.
That seems fair. And I think I say, like, I couldn't get far enough into the winds of time, I guess, to see what's at the center. But the whole thing is just being, she's kind of a little lost for words as she tries to put it together. But it was like, the future isn't just here through the dead, but their Gauntleteer hasn't been protecting the city. He's been crushing it. I'm not sure what we should do about this thing.
You could always ask the dog.
That's a pretty good idea there. Rivets, what do you think of this thing?
The three heads all like seem to be like straining forward, like they're trying to sniff, but they're too far away on the desk where they are.
Yeah, and it's like we're shoving the desk closer.
just pushing the whole desk closer to the orb to try and have Rivets take a sniff on this thing. I'd like Greg. I think I'd like Greg to get to a roll, assess the situation, because you're using Rivets' robot noses to try and figure some things out here. Does that sound good?
Sure. So that is a 9.
All right. Yeah, you get one of the assess questions. Wow, your superior is so high.
Yes.
Yeah, so the three Rivets are sniffing at the orb and like barking in different like slightly tinny robot tones. They're a little discordant, right? You feel like maybe the plan was to have them harmonize in some way, but that is not the case at this stage of development.
Right. What here can I use to open the orb as safely as possible?
Oh boy!
There's nothing from what I've just done.
Yeah.
Good question. To open the orb as safely as possible. Yeah. So like the three heads on this Rivets start like kind of yapping at each other, like they're clearly like conferring, and then like one of them turns to you and opens his mouth and like just like ticker tape comes out like right, as you kind of grab that from Rivets. The answer is, it's written in a little bit of technical jargon. Raggedy Jan's pretty sure she's reading between the lines here that Rivets' preliminary analysis indicates that this artifact contains massive amounts of temporal energy, and so the only safe way to open it is far away from people. But any sufficient kinetic force should do it. It's just wood now.
Right.
Does that work for you as an assessment?
Sure.
And you get +1 forward on pursuing that because of the way assess works.
Right. So yeah. So the next time we smash this incredibly dangerous object open, it'll have a slightly higher chance of not destroying the city. Good to know.
Blitz, I feel like you're probably not totally prepared for the three-headed semi-constructed robot dog helping out. Do you have any questions for your teammates that you've rejoined?
Did that dog always have 3 heads and no legs?
Yeah, Phantom Pain, with her purple fire just still dripping off her, goes oh no, this dog is just experimental. Usual Rivets has 1 head, but Rosie swaps them out as needed.
And then I asked Phantom Pain, "You look like you were on fire. Are you okay?"
She kind of shakes her head, sending a little bit of flame touching the ground, where I'm just going to assume Time Flame causes stuff to very lightly age a little faster.
Oh yeah. It hits a little bit of metal and it starts rusting away, right? It hits the concrete floor, and it looks corroded, hasn't been dusted in years. Concrete floor.
Yeah, and Phantom Pain says, I just, we've saved the world, or at least America. Our boys over there are saving the rest of the world, more than once as a team, but we've taken it 1 year at a time, 1 day at a time. I don't really know how big this is, or whether we're big enough to deal with it. And let me check how my hey sweetie.
Vulnerability move.
Are kind of weird, so I was going to leave this as a bid for a comfort and support.
Legit. Clearly, Phantom Pain in need of a little support. I guess Blitz, you're talking to her. Yeah. Are you trying to support her?
Yeah, I guess I noticed that she's having trouble processing everything that she's just witnessed and experienced. So I sort of move in to provide some comfort or support. Mostly just sort of, I'm wearing a mask, so she can't see the concern on my face.
Right.
So I do look concerned, but I sort of move in closer, not really too worried about the flames. So I can roll that.
Yeah, roll with your mundane, though I believe you're still angry.
You'll have to help me know what that means.
So angry gives you -2 to comfort and support. Which evens out to, adds up to a -1 because your mundane is a 1.
Okay. Well, I rolled an 8, so that's a 7.
Okay, a 7. That's a hit on comfort and support. You don't get the kind of the bonus of a 10+, but on a hit, they hear you. They mark potential clear condition or shift labels if they open up to you. Phantom Pain, do you open up to Blitz?
Yeah, I think I kind of shake my head ruefully and go, it's just, I thought things would be a lot easier once I was sort of a ghost, but not actively dying. But I'm glad we're all together bringing our different kinds of powers to this. Me with these, as you kind of like waves her head as though like Legion of the Dead are a bunch of like buzzy gnats. Raggedy Jan, kind of taking care of all of us. Red Robe, his weird stuff. I understand the dead. I have no idea what that's rooted in. And you're just a pretty normal person, and you help me stay grounded. And then she like puts her hand on your arm, and it like sinks slightly in for a second before she like gets the depth and density right. Which hopefully just reminds you a little that she could always peek into your mask either way.
I think Blitz bursts out. My name is Esther. My real name is Esther. And just sort of like she's so touched, she can't she doesn't know how to deal with this level of intimacy. And so just sort of blurts out, my real name is Esther.
Yeah, Phantom Pain goes, oh, like that girl at the grocery I've been watching.
Almost.
So, Esther, when you reveal your secret identity to someone who didn't know it already, mark potential. I think you might have just taken an advance, unless Raggedy Jan and Red Robe were not listening to that.
It was meant for
Phantom Pain.
For pain. Yeah.
Okay. Take mark one potential. Red Robe. You've caught some of these back and forth. You've also noticed, possibly alerted by one of the Rivet's heads starting to like give what sounds like a warning bark, that where a little of that purple fire kind of landed on the edge of this wooden sphere, there are roots starting to grow down from the sphere and like poking into the floor of the garage.
What
do you do?
Yeah, right. I think the first thing I do is like point at it and make some unhelpful noises. Like what? And then I would really, really not like to throw my powers at this orb. Like, is there like a plastic shovel or something that I can intercept with just to see if I can discourage these roots without like throwing any magic at like?
I want to provoke Red Robe or on the ball.
Do it big.
What's the provocation?
I think Phantom Pain like looks away from this heart to heart at Red for going like the girl at the grocery store is like, oh no, like Red Robe that's rooted into the ground, like this is your kind of deal, like you have to stop it.
Roll plus superior.
Let's see. And I have influence on you, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, with influence and superior, that's an 11.
Okay. 11 is both, which means potential if I do it, condition if I don't.
Yep.
That's correct.
All right. Yeah. I mean,
what do you do?
Okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think I've got one thing that I do, and that thing is throw implausible magic power at every obstacle. So I think I'm probably going to be unleashing my powers is the answer. I think I'm going to, like sort of like gesticulate at the roots and yell something like stop and like and uncork my powers and see what happens.
Got it. Does Red Robe have like a mental image of how he wants this to go?
The answer is that he definitely wants the like smallest effect possible, which is really not his thing. That's like, there are some powers where like bigger effects are hard. Red Robe does not have those powers, and so like precision and care are hard. So like a world in which the roots just like stopped and like went back in and were like pretty much the way they were before they started growing, I think is sort of what I'm hoping for, and then we'll see. How's that sound?
Yeah. All right. So you're unleashing your powers to attempt to have the smallest effect.
Let's see. For the audience at home.
This is so beautiful. I believe the dice understand how unreasonable it is for the conduit to try and have the smallest effect, and the dice like have spoken.
Okay, well, I'm marking potential and yikes.
Okay.
I was definitely not using phenomenal cosmic power. Oh, that's not even total.
Did you already mark potential for doing it? Because you are getting 2 potential off this attempt.
Oh, right. Yes, good. That's good. I will need it when the world explodes.
Okay, yeah, we see Red Robe reaching out, saying like smallest effect, right? And then like there's a panel just focused in on those roots. There starts to be some kind of light shining around them, and then I think we take a bio break, and when we come back, we'll see how this plays out. Let's take 10 and be back at 1:15.
Yikes.
All right, are we all back? Very good, very good. So, when we left off, Red Robe had just attempted to unleash his powers. And what was that roll again, Red Robe?
That was, I mean, it's a 4, but it was Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes, yes. As you're trying to have the smallest possible effect here. So, I think we see a panel of the roots breaking away, right, and just kind of just shattering into splinters, and then indeed a very small, like almost minuscule, hole is just like bored through this wooden sphere, and purple flames come pouring out of it. In the garage. There's a sudden, kind of purpley glow, kind of lighting everything from underneath, and as you see the sphere just start to lift off the ground, right, with this kind of concentrated beam of burning purple shooting downwards from it. It's shooting downwards, right through the floor of the garage, right? Like the garage floor has like aged away into nothingness right below it. And indeed, we get a couple panels showing this like purple beam traveling through the crust of the earth, and then there's a panel with like the caption "deep underground," and we see this kind of massive underground palace of stalagmites, and this beam of purple smashes into it, and the whole thing is shattering. There are mushroom men and plant people running for cover, but up on the surface, what the team is seeing is the wooden sphere starting to lift off the ground, propelled by this purple fiery blast of entropy. Red Robe, I'd like you to mark an appropriate condition.
Yep. That's guilty, by the way, if that's not obvious to anybody.
Sounds like it, yeah. And the thing is rising, doesn't seem to be stopping, as all three heads of rivets are starting to kind of bark, warning.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Is this like floating up slowly, or is this like feet per second, or?
Why do you ask?
Like, am I, I guess the real question is the roof a foregone conclusion at this point?
Not necessarily. If nothing changes the trajectory of this, it is definitely going to smash through the roof.
Okay.
Raggedy Jan, just to check in, how on kind of what you're doing as all of this starts going down.
Red Robe, you're the only one who can stop this.
I was afraid of that. I think like I barely even hear Jan. Like that thought sounds like it's one of those, like the panel is drawn with that as like my thought bubble and her speech bubble as the like same dialogue. Like
just overlapping.
Yeah. I think in spite of myself, this is big and scary, and it probably is going to take something big and scary to fix. I think I want to defend with phenomenal cosmic power.
You're muted, Alexei.
Thanks, David. When you directly engage a threat or defend someone with a display of your might, roll plus freak instead of plus danger or plus savior. All right. So what does that defense look like? How are you putting on a display of your might to defend? Well, defend your team, defend the environment.
I mean, all of the above. I think right now I'm thinking about neither of them so much as the homestead. Like there are innocent people inside.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like I'm thinking neither bigger nor smaller than that.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, probably, with some of the commotion starting in here, like you guys hear like a voice, at the door from the house into the garage saying, Kathleen, is that you? And then like as there's more like clattering and destruction, the voice says, Rosie, are you back?
I think so you see some of what you saw the last time he went totally nuts. You see the amulet glowing, you can see his eyes glowing under the hood, you can see his hands starting to glow, and there's just sort of like a patched gesture. But with the like thorough understanding that whatever is coming out of this is big, and whatever needs, if anything can match it, that thing will also need to be big. And I'm gonna roll.
Okay, roll plus freak.
There we go. That's a 10.
Okay, nice. You keep them safe and choose one. And in addition to your other options, you can choose to awe an audience and to respect, silence, or admiration. Nice, and you don't have to choose from the drawbacks list there.
Right. If this is actually working, I think I'm going to go ahead and clear the condition.
Yeah, you rolled a 10 here. So this was okay. So this was like really getting into it. Robe billowing, amulet glowing.
Yeah, and I think it might turn out like a little bit anticlimactic. Like there's almost a like serious cosmic force tug of war, and then the like end result is like the wooden sphere like quietly thumps onto the ground.
Yeah. I think to a number of people watching, that's mostly what they see. But I think for Red Robe, we get a panel from your perspective, and we see that kind of you see what you formed by unleashing this power. Our kind of massive hands on either side of the sphere, just like grab it, pull it down, and like push it closed, right? So that it's being tugged back down and just smushed, so that like there's a little ridge in the wood where it's been smushed back together, and this apparently seems to be enough to reseal it. That kind of rapid aging purple fire isn't pouring out of it anymore. There is a significant dent in the floor of the garage that it sort of settled into from where the energy was pouring out, of course.
And I think I am not gonna on audience and to respect, silence, or admiration. I think that's, I'm sort of, I feel like I came by net even, and I was really not trying to make anyone think anything about me any which way through these actions.
Yeah. So there's the door to the garage opens, and Ma Rockwell pokes her head in. Like she looks like she's gotten out of bed. She's probably wiping sleep from her eyes, looking around, and she's of course she knows Kathleen. Did she ever meet Raggedy Jan? Did Raggedy Jan ever come over to Rosie Rockwell's place before?
I don't remember.
The dinners were good.
Yeah, I don't remember if it ever happened in game, but probably.
Nice. Yeah, she says, Kathleen, oh, Jan, and what is that happening? Girls? Young man?
It's a thing we were taking a look at. We thought rivets might be able to help us figure it out.
The three rivets' heads are still barking, danger, danger, danger.
Yes, we know that now, rivets. Get to the rivets' heads.
Her eyes go down to like the garage floor, and like you see like her gasp in horror.
We'll fix it. I promise, Mrs. Rockwell. Red Robe did a good job containing this enormous wooden sphere full of time.
She puts her hands on her hips. I feel like I'm owed more of an explanation than that.
I sort of look awkwardly at Phantom Pain, like, I feel like I could describe this, but this is not my place.
Sorry, Ma Rockwell. We didn't mean to mess up your garage.
We miss Rosie, and there's someone else we're missing too. Someone I don't know if you remember, but do you remember who the Gauntleteer is at all, Mrs. Rockwell?
Ooh, oh, fascinating.
Rosie used to have a poster of him on the door to her room.
And I think I'm going to project an illusion of the poster, and like I'm going to try to use my powers to project images. My powers are also sort of have this psychic component, so I'm going to try to use my powers to make Ma Rockwell remember the Gauntleteer.
Okay, yeah, that definitely sounds like an unleash. She looks uncertain, right? Like as you guys are, she was looking stern, right? As you guys launched into this, she was kind of looking wavering, like Gauntleteer. So go ahead and unleash and see if you can push through here.
And that's a 4.
You have no freak?
I have no freak. It is a surprisingly low stat.
Okay, there is the team in the pool, but I'll take the miss can work certainly. Yeah. So what's the like image you're putting forward, or it's the like Gauntleteer poster, right?
Like the Gauntleteer poster, it's like the image of the statue in the park, and it's like images of the Gauntlet newspaper. I don't remember if I've ever actually seen the Gauntleteer in person, but all of the images I've seen of the Gauntleteer. And it's like I'm trying to reach sort of connect with her memories psychically in order to make the illusions more vivid. But it's like I think I'm bouncing off because there's just nothing there anymore for me to draw on.
Yeah. Like she's like staring for a moment, and then she just starts like shaking her head and like. Grabs like a rolled up newspaper from the ground and starts like swatting away the illusions, right? Saying like, Jan, I don't know what trick you're trying to pull here, but you, young lady, need to take some responsibility. I know Rosie tried to be a good influence on you, but she always said she was worried what would happen if you were off on your own, and I can see why. And I'd like you to mark a condition.
I'll go with hopeless. It's like, and sort of mutter, I was a good influence on her.
I kind of want to give Raggedy Jan, one more chance at winning over Ma Rockwell, using my "you haven't learned you can do this yet" move. So that's when I, draw on what I know about someone in the future, about a like new trick they've not done before. I can spend a team to let them unleash using my superior as if it were the relevant label.
I see. So like spending a team for a bigger effect where they're actually rolling with what is your superior is a
it's
1.
only
Okay.
a 1.
So that's still better odds than she had a moment ago.
And if
Well, except that I marked hopeless, so it's actually slightly worse odds.
Well, actually, I was going to ask about this move. If they're using my superior to roll something, does their minus label apply? I genuinely don't know the answer to this.
This is a call for a little ruling here. Raggedy Jan, are you interested in taking taking this this move for a spin where Phantom Pain gives you kind of help for future knowledge?
Right. I mean, I think it would be awesome if Phantom Pain were able to turn a failure into success that way.
Then we're gonna say, right, you did the roll, you got the miss, you got the condition, but we'll let Phantom Pain do this, right, as like a next step in the fiction. And for here, at least I'm gonna not count the condition against the roll, just to like sweeten the deal a little, because I do want to see this move go off.
All right, then I kind of step out in front of Raggedy Jan, to defend her, as Mrs. Rockwell is, "Here, sweetie," skeptical of her, and I think I do pick up the crumpled poster, and and say, Rosie believed in Raggedy Jan, and that we could have some differences even on our team, but be stronger for them to fight the people who really matter, and this hasn't happened yet, but there's a day that comes when Alexi, can you give me the name of someone who's an exemplar kind of person who's not the Gauntleteer at this point?
Like the Golden Eagle?
Actually, I think I'll just pick an easier target, which is like, there's a day that's going to come when Raggedy Jan's ability to tell people the truth and make it stick, not just at her paper, but everywhere, saves our mayor, our governor, even the governor of the state that we're in.
New Gauntlet City is in, yes, the undefined state.
Whose mind control was going to put our whole war effort in jeopardy. Raggedy Jan can get through to people when it matters because she cares so much. Your role, Raggedy Jan.
All right, spend a team from the pool for this. I think probably Ma Rockwell looks a little skeptical at first.
That seems fair. I don't actually know where our team pool is. To write it down.
Safety and resources.
Thank you. I will adjust it then.
All right, and I think if you'll spend an extra team, that will get it up to a 7.
Well, here's the question: Does someone else want to spend a team to assist here? Right. So, Raggedy Jan, what's different about your efforts this time as you're pushing your powers, doing something that Phantom Pain tells you can do that you haven't been able to do yet?
I mean, I think it's that she told me that the key is that I have to care about this. It's like I have to really, this has to be, I have to drop the cynicism and actually just be sincere and put everything I have into reaching out.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so sincerely reaching out, using powers, trying to like connect with the memory here.
Right. Just not just show the image, but show how I feel about the image.
And it's come to a 6. So does someone else want to spend one from the team pool to push that over and say how they're able to assist here? Yeah, thought Blitz.
Yeah.
I mean, just cheering me on and saying you can do this. It feels like it's enough.
Yeah, I think I was going to say I have an expression on my face, but of course that doesn't mean anything. Where I say basically cheer on Raggedy Jan I'm trying to think of how I would express this in words, but something like, this is true. Everything that Raggedy Jan is showing you is how the world used to be, or something like that.
Nice. Kind of, backing her up. Absolutely. You guys are the ones who remember the Gauntleteer, and you're gonna try and jog someone else's memory, so such that we get to push that up to a 7. Okay, and this was unleashed as you kind of attempted to use your powers for this.
Right, and I don't want this effect to be unstable or temporary. So let's see. Let's mark. Ooh, what's a good? I'm not sure. And I'll mark guilty, I think.
Yeah, nice. So how can you there's a moment where Ma blinks a couple times. It looks like she's on the verge, but you have to push harder so that this will stick, right?
Right.
You get one more panel with Raggedy Jan, and with this, it's kind of, is it still like a panoply of illusions, reminding us of the Gauntleteer?
Right, and I think it's at some point it's more than an illusion. Instead of drawing the memories of the Gauntleteer that are buried in her, I'm projecting the memories that are inside me, and I'm forming this psychic connection that's deeper than just illusion.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, there we go. That's different. Yeah, so there's a panel of it's Raggedy Jan and Ma in the foreground, and then the whole background is Raggedy Jan's memory. What's the image of the Gauntleteer that means the most to you then?
I mean, I think there's an image of when I was a child, long before I got my powers. Just one of my earliest memories is looking at a tenement window and seeing the Gauntleteer fly overhead.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's like this is the moment that I didn't know it, but that has inspired me to be a hero.
Oh, that's great. And then there's one more image, which is at the factory where Ma Rockwell works, right? Something went wrong. Something was kind of rolling, smashing the assembly line, and then there's a shot of Ma standing there, rivet gun in hand, ready to do her bit, and then the Gauntleteer flies in and stops this massive rolling metal thing at the last moment, right? So her memory too, through the psychic connection, is being projected, and she gasps and she says, "Jan, how did you do? How'd they make us forget? Who did that?"
I don't know. It's something Solomon Industries is doing, but if we can make one person remember, we can make the whole world remember.
And she nods. She says, "Sorry, girls, and young man," right, nodding to Red Robe again. She's just so used to these superheroes on the home front only being girls. Right?
He doesn't even flinch. He feels like he definitely feels like an accessory, and so that sort of being an afterthought it just fits his model of this situation.
Yeah, she says, I can't believe they pulled the wool over all of our eyes, but thanks to you, I remember now. What can I do to help you?"
We need space to work, and we need time to think. I don't know how to fix this thing.
She's sizing it up, right? Looking at this big sphere. You need to open this somewhere where it won't. She looks down at the destruction of the floor in the garage, where it won't do that.
I'm not even sure if it's safe to open it, but yeah, we gotta figure out what's inside and how to. I think it might not be as simple as just opening it.
Do you have something in mind?
She's nodding slowly. She says, they're in the middle of converting a factory floor on the outskirts of town to ramp up for wartime production, but they hit a snag. The place is empty. They had to clear out most of the machinery. If you need a large space where there's going to be no people, that'd be where to do it. And getting the Gauntleteer back, well, that'd be more for the war effort than a dozen warships.
All right. Well, I don't have any better ideas. What do the rest of you guys think?
I asked Ma Rockwell, is this place very, very secluded, and is the hole very deep? We get the feeling that if we open this thing up, it will cause it would be very bad. I'm asking Ma Rockwell how far away this thing is.
Yeah. She says, well, it's the furthest location in the belt of factories, and they've had to take everything out of the sub basement in preparation for the new machinery. I could get a key. It would probably take a little work.
You know that we need a key.
Might as well keep yourself out of trouble.
We've all got to do our bit. What's your name again, young man?
Red Robe. Not like that kind of red. This is just sort of the color it came out.
Well, you could add some white and some blue, and then that would set people at ease.
That's not a terrible idea, actually. He's sort of laughing nervously at the insanity of it all. This is maybe the first real conversation he's had with someone who was neither teammate nor enemy in costume. I think I really want to try and get a handle of things, even at risk of causing more trouble.
Okay.
I think I want to use Eye of the Storm. It seems like, we're not under fire right this second.
Yeah, that's fair. What does that look like? For Eye of the Storm, it's when you find or make a quiet moment to open your brain to the cosmos.
I think I sort of walk up and gently graze the orb with my hand and just set it there. It looks different than when Phantom Pain did it, because
right.
the orb is unyielding to my touch. And I'm sort of I feel okay about touching it only because Brawl handled it, and if Brawl can handle it, I can touch it. And then, so one hand on the orb, one hand on my amulet, head down, my eyes are closed, but that's not visible in frame. And yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's see.
Roll plus conditions. God damn it.
What did you get?
I got a 6. Oh, this sucks. Somebody wants to.
Oh man.
Thing to be done.
Remind us of the Eye of the Storm miss condition.
Miss
Just
mark
so
3
we.
conditions and draw unwanted attention. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll spend it. I'll spend a team to help out. I mean, I'm just like everyone be quiet. He needs to concentrate.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Ma was talking about this plan, right? And then you're like, no, right? And like the hush falls over the room.
Right. Yeah. And like I'm using my illusion powers to just sort of blank stuff out so that he's got a nice quiet space to concentrate in.
And that was the last of the team pool?
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing. What could go wrong?
So that can push you up to a 7. Is that right, Red Robe?
Yep. All right. So on a hit, ask the GM a question about the world around you, which they must answer honestly. On a 7 and 9, mark a condition. So I'm taking insecure.
Makes sense.
And my question is, how can we use this orb and its contents to reverse whatever happened to the Gauntleteer?
Yeah.
I think for me, that's like, I'm almost trying to smell the sort of power and, like get the sense of how my amulet clearly like thinks this thing is weird as shit. And I'm trying to
accurately
really like target that and see, if it tells me more about how to work with it, even if how to work with it is just like let it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. So the kind of you get some visions, right, as you're kind of touching this orb, turning to your amulet, asking this question, trying to understand what's going on. And you see a vision of the Gauntleteer himself, the hero that you look up to, being kind of engulfed in this blazing purple fire. It's like your view is pulling out, and then the whole thing is inside of this metal sphere, right? Back in that lab space that you were in, and you get the sense that this fire that had been called that Phantom Pain had called the fires of time is poorly understood even by the people using it, right? Some strange experiment plucked from the lab of some sketchy scientist after some team of superheroes showed him what for, right? But Solomon took this and used it to kind of burn the Gauntleteer right out of people's memories, and the substance itself extremely dangerous. But if it could be safely released, you could pull the Gauntleteer out from whatever weird sort of space exists inside of the orb. Like as you saw, it corrodes everything it touches. So it have to be somehow corralled, right, to not cause major problems for the city. But it seems like the Gauntleteer himself is in the midst of it and able to be brought out if anyone could pull that off. Does that work as an answer for you, Red Robe?
Yeah, totally. I think I relay like that vision in like a creepy monotone. I'm like totally entranced and just like speaking what I see aloud, like I'm barely present in my body.
So it sounds like what we want is not to let this out, but to put it somewhere else, like make another container for it, so that we can like transfer the power to the from from this orb into some like big battery and get the Gauntleteer out, and then we just put the power back.
I think we just want something that'll catch the splash damage.
Okay,
I think we can. I can imagine a world in which someone who is probably not us could pour this stuff out of one container and into another, but I think maybe we just crack it open and try our best not to let it spill on anything important.
I mean, says Phantom Pain, we could try and find a way to open it over Berlin.
I don't know. I mean,
there's a moment where everyone, quietly looks at the damage this thing did to the, Rockwell garage floor.
I mean, the thing is, what if it gives the Nazis some kind of crazy time powers?
What if it just... Look, man, I understand that there are people who probably can't be allowed to live, but I'm not doing that. And I don't know that what this does to people is as kind as death. I think Red Robe is like his voice is shaking. Like he is sort of like the idea of possibly eradicating that many people is like deeply terrifying him. Nobody would ever do anything like that, right?
Yeah, there's like a moment of Ma Rockwell saying, "Oh, you're all too young to be soldiers. Sometimes, sometimes Rosie forgot that, I think."
I think that Kathleen says, well, then if we just want to be safe, the ocean is pretty much made of time, sort of, and like, it's probably just the light. Like her eyes do look purple for a second, but I think it can handle a lot.
Do you think we could...
Go ahead.
I think Red Robe is like very open to this, but I think he's got one question about this plan, which is, do you think we stand a chance of getting this there safely?
Yeah. Have we ever established how close New Gauntlet City is to the ocean?
We've established that it's more of an inland city. It's not Manhattan.
But it does have docks and barges that eventually go to an ocean. All cities do.
Yeah, but eventually might be a long time. Eventually could be days.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we can take the time to get it all the way to the ocean, but like, there are some big lakes north of here that not a lot of people are around them. And I've never been out of the city, but we got a truck. We can get some gas.
Substantial lakes of this region work for Kathleen.
So like Ma Rockwell's looking around. She says, well, you've got to get a little rest and maybe some food before you do anything like that. Can't fight a war on an empty stomach.
What food does Ma Rockwell think is most appropriate to make for us at 3:30 in the morning? What meal is that?
Like probably pancakes, like with whatever little bit of sugar she's managed to save from the rationing. I feel like pancakes are very traditional for heroes setting out on their journey, don't you?
I love it.
Yeah, let's probably coming up on another break, but I'd love to get a panel from each of you as your team is kind of deciding how you're gonna approach this, and maybe partaking of Ma Rockwell's hospitality. Raggedy Jan, what do we see if we get a little panel, as there's a kind of montage, right, of night ticking on, and the team at the Rockwell house.
Yeah, and I think we see her eating pancakes, and her eyes are getting droopier and droopier. Like eventually, Bob Rockwell just takes her upstairs to a bed, and as you see her falling asleep, it's like the Raggedy Jan fades away, and you see Mary Annika in bed, sleeping peacefully.
Is her Raggedy Jan kind of outfit an illusion she just keeps up all the time then?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like a little more substantial than a regular illusion. It's something that she's done so often that
Nice.
she doesn't even have to think about it.
Oh, that's great. Phantom Pain?
I think we see her, eating pancakes with relish, and also with syrup. And as she's pouring the syrup onto her pancakes, like, you see her brow furrow with intense concentration. And again, there's that slight purple light in her eyes. And for a second, it's like the syrup like stutters and like goes backwards, like a film's been set badly by the projectionist. But it's really just for a second, and it's hard for her to be sure that happened.
When you play with time, you might get burned. Blitz, what do we see?
She feels very self-conscious about eating someone else's food, but she just takes sort of half a pancake, and she also scrawls a note to her aunt and uncle, asking them to arrange to deliver a pound of margarine to the Rockwell residents to sort of make up for that.
Nice.
And she's also sort of eating the pancake dry, but sort of busy thinking about how is she going to tell her aunt and uncle where she's gone and why she isn't going to school when they're busy off dealing with this orb in the lakes to the north. So she's kind of going round and round and round on that. Oh yeah, there's the mouthpiece. She can open that.
Oh, nice. There's a little mouthpiece on the helmet, so she hasn't revealed her identity, but she is eating the pancakes.
Yeah, thanks, Red Robe.
I was just deeply curious. I just had to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, it's not a Mandalorian issue.
Red Robe, what do we see if we get a panel for you?
I think this is one of the panels where you really like understand Red Robe, because the sort of aesthetic of the costume is very like ancient and foreboding, but his like posture and mannerisms are like clearly a 14-year-old kid in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this like weird clash between the like, grandiosity of the costume and the sort of like, you can't see the like hole in his face that he's like forking the pancakes into, and the fact that he's like clearly eating like a young man.
Wonderful. And on that note of pancakes, we'll turn the page of our comic book. There's an ad. And on this ad break, we'll take a little break ourselves. Let's come back in 10. So be here at 10 past the hour.
Woo! Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Oops. Am I coming through?
I got you.
Great. Camera's a little spotty, but that's fine. Wonderful. And Dan said in the chat to start without him, so we'll bring Blitz back in when we get the chance. But yeah, so I think we're going to get a few panels to sort of montage into this long drive your characters are taking. Sound good? All right. As we're kind of moving through the streets of New Gauntlet City, there's newsies hawking papes, and we hear them calling out the headlines. Extra, break in at New Solomon Industries facility. Someone's waving the paper that says, Xander Solomon touts new saboteur rehabilitation program. There's a tabloid that says, Sound Park saboteurs, are they behind the nocturnal mayhem? And another tabloid says, former Blitzkinder reformed, love America now, with pictures of those folks you fought there in that Solomon place. But you've got a newspaper van of your own, commandeered from the NGC Gazette. Yeah. Raggedy Jan, are you doing anything else to kind of disguise the vehicle you're driving in?
Well, if we have the facilities to do a quick paint job, we'll do that. Otherwise, just cast an illusion, at least until we're out of town.
Nice. There's probably some paint lying around in the Rockwell's garage. So if you've got a sense of what you want to disguise the truck as, I'm happy to hear it.
I mean, basically, I just want to paint over any logos.
Got it. So it looks like a totally legit truck with any logos just painted over. To be fair, people probably assume this is a wartime thing, right? Like this is this used to be something for something, but it's been kind of hastily repurposed for some wartime transportation function. Yeah. Yeah. So as you head out onto the motorway, there's big propaganda posters, telling you, ride together to victory. If you ride alone, you ride with Hitler, or other things telling you that it's very, very incumbent on American motorists to carpool, right? Share your cars, spare your tires, because they need the rubber for the war effort. It's a long winding drive up from New Gauntlet City to the lakes of the north. So each of you definitely has the chance to talk amongst yourselves, otherwise process what's going on during some of this drive. I want to start. Hey, welcome back, Blitz. We will get you up to speed. We're basically just setting off and get a bit of a montage where we heard some of the headlines and saw some propaganda posters on our way out of New Gauntlet City. Phantom Pain. Why don't I just start with you, and we'll do a kind of popping around thing. Anything you're doing kind of during this drive? I mean, are you rotating drivers, or is Raggedy Jan in the driver's seat thoroughly?
I think probably Phantom Pain shouldn't drive when she sometimes can't keep her hand solid on the wheel.
It's an important skill.
Yeah, I think I'm up with Raggedy Jan though for a minute, and I'm saying, wow, I'm so glad that you got through to Mrs. Rockwell. I don't want her to be mad at us, and I'm so grateful she's given me a home. I don't want it. It was hard being with her when she didn't remember or believe in the Gauntleteer. I feel like Rosie never would have let that happen. So, I didn't realize you could do what you did now until you did it. And I'm going for comfort and support here.
Yeah, That sounds good. Raggedy Jan, you think this rises to the level of comforting and supporting?
Oh, sure. Yes.
Now I'm
Roll
rolling
with
flat.
mundane.
I'm rolling flat because I'm -1 mundane, but I have influence, so 9.
That's good. That's good. So on a 7 through 9, comfort and support, they hear you. They mark potential clear condition or shift labels if they open up to you. Raggedy Jan, do you open up?
Yeah, I think so. It's like, yeah, I didn't know I could do that myself. I mean, you make me a better person, Kathleen. I'm so glad you're in charge of this team. I don't know what we would do without you.
Aww. Yeah, I think Kathleen gives a little laugh, and she says, "I'm so glad we've stuck together even when parts of our team are off training or doing other work for the war or moved to other cities. I'm glad you're the one in charge."
It's like, well, it's like, did she just say that? It's like I brush it off. So,
Don't forget to take the mechanical benefit of opening up.
yeah, I cleared a condition.
Nice. Which condition?
I cleared my guilty.
Gotcha. Blitz. Yeah, you can take a shift driving. Sure. Yeah. Is there Raggedy Jan? Do you at some point pull over and have Blitz take a turn at the wheel?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're far enough out of town that if I've been keeping an illusion up, I'll just drop it at that point. And it's like people can wonder what New Gauntlet Gazette truck is doing out of town. Let them wonder.
Nice. Yeah, like sort of poorly painted over NGC Gazette truck because the illusion was really adding to the plausibility of the paint job.
Right.
Blitz gets in the driver's seat and she kind of puts her hands on the wheel and she sort of hesitates and she kind of looks to one side and the other and she realizes her mask cuts off her peripheral vision to drive. So she takes a deep breath and she pulls the helmet off.
Oh man!
And sets it down next to the seat and starts the van and just pulls off onto the freeway.
So that's revealing your face. I don't know. Is it revealing your secret identity? Given that Raggedy. Oh yeah. Red Robe though knows you would like recognize your face from school.
And Payne indicated that she remembers an Esther from the grocery store.
Absolutely. All right, that's big. Yeah, Red Robe. How do you react to Blitz just taking a breath and unmasking, and there being a face you recognize under there?
There's definitely like a holy cow moment, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like the respectful thing to do is not to say anything. And so, because I have not been extremely secretive about my secret identity with the team, like I felt weird, with Ma Rockwell, but these folks know who I am, which means Esther knows who I am. But I'm not going to say anything until she does, man. I get it, and I know, and that's like a thing that I will notice when I pass her in school, but I'm not saying anything.
So that counts as revealing your identity. So you get to mark potential for that, Esther. My question to Red Robe is: do you think your silence rises to the level of a comfort and support? Like, is it a supportive tactfulness that's keeping you from
it's certainly intended to be. There's I feel like there is kind of a default expectation of that somebody's going to be like, oh my God, and react. And I think she knows I know, but I'm like pointedly not reacting. And so if Esther feels like that's a comfort and support, I'm happy to roll it.
Well, I can give you a hook for that because I could say something like, "This is totally Esther." She would say, "I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner."
Okay, well that gets a reaction. I think I definitely, feel like I throw my hood back for this one, because it feels like a weird conversation to have with my face obscured. That's not a reveal. It just feels thematically appropriate. I could have asked, man. It's your call to make. And I do think I'm trying to comfort and support. I do think there's like this is all okay. Both not knowing and knowing are okay.
She definitely feels very stressed about this, so his sort of nonchalant reaction is actually very comforting.
I'm rolling it. God damn it.
What did you get?
My mundane is a 0, so I got a 5. Woo! Got an advancement though.
Okay, well that is certainly exciting. Yeah, you get that potential. There's so like the moment, absolutely right. Like the moment is touching, but it's interrupted as you hear sirens, right? And like realize you hadn't been checking the weird little rearview mirror on this truck, and you see like 2 police cars on your tail. Old timey police cars, little spinning sirens, and like someone yells, "Pull over!" Blitz, what do you do?
I grab my mask and put it on. Because I can't do what I want to do if I don't have my mask on. I say, I'm trying to decide how bad an idea this is. I could say to someone, grab the wheel, and then fling myself out of the car into the air.
You could do that. Yeah. What are you saying that? Like it sounds like I guess I was picturing Red Robe in the passenger seat given this interaction. Does that track for you guys?
I'd have been down for a full swap. I feel like Phantom Pain is always sort of everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah, I think probably maybe Phantom Pain and I are in the back of the truck with the orb, and like we don't have direct access to the passenger seat.
So let me play this a little differently. I kind of indicate to the back seat, since one or both of you are our leaders, how do you want me to handle this?
Say if there's a panel that opens up so that I can so that we can communicate.
Yeah,
and it's like
the panel.
It's like I'm casting an illusion over you to make you look like to make you look like FBI agents or something like because you're like dressed in suits with those dark sunglasses or whatever, and it's like, okay, just show them your papers, and I've got this.
Okay, you're the boss.
Oh man, that's a lot to ask from Esther, right? But Esther, you're gonna go along with Raggedy Jan's plan here.
Yeah, she's definitely thinking like, oh, I wish I had jumped out of the car and lit up, but this works too.
So yeah, you pull over.
Pull over.
Yeah. one of the the police cars pull up to, door opens, cop gets out, big guy, also wearing those aviator glasses, walks over, walks over to your window, right, and says, "Ma'am, we got."
I mean, I think I'm making them look like men because I don't think there were female government agents at this point.
Got it, sir. We got a tip about this vehicle. You mind showing us your license and registration?
Sure. I would tend to grab something and I
Right.
put it
Right.
in, thinking she's got my back. Jan's got my back.
Right, and I'm casting an illusion so that it looks like it looks like Samuel Kent. I think there's this FBI badge.
All right, this is going to be. Are you watching closely?
Oh right, I forgot delinquent.
Yes, and I have +1 ongoing because from my team move, so that's going to be a +4 on this roll.
Wait, what? Sorry.
+3 for my superior and +1 for the +1 ongoing. So it's a total of a 10.
I'm confused about where the +1 ongoing is coming from.
I have a team move when the first time in a session that you use team to help a teammate take +1 forward.
Oh, nice. Yeah, when you help someone out, you get to help yourself out too, huh?
Yes.
That makes it a 10. Okay, you get to choose 3 from the Are You Watching Closely list.
Right. Okay, I want to confuse them for some time, avoid further entanglement, and get an opportunity.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that sounds straightforwardly like you just have, totally successfully forged FBI papers with your illusion powers. So like the cop takes a step back and does a big visible double take and says, "Sir, I didn't realize you were with the bureau."
You're just doing your job.
He salutes.
Yeah, and we'd appreciate it if you would keep this on the QT, and it's entirely understandable that people might call in a tip, but this is a little irregular. We're trying to keep things quiet here.
Raggedy Jan, is this a mysterious voice coming from the back of the truck talking to them?
I mean, I've got the panel open, and
okay.
It's just yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So the cops just the cop is has a big grin. He's like, "Oh, you can trust me. You can trust old Willie." As taps a finger to his nose, you're co-conspirators, and he walks over and is clearly regaling the other officer.
Yeah, good man. With
his story of meeting FBI agents in a truck. But yeah, he waves you through. You're able to keep on driving. Red Robe, yeah, Red Robe. You rolled a comfort and support. It didn't quite land, but the situation has been handled. Blitz, are you doing anything else on the drive? Anything you want to make sure to fit in?
No, but I do let Red Robe know that despite all of this, he's still a freshman and I'm a senior, and we can't hang out together.
Oof. Oh, be still, my heart.
I think Red Robe for everything has sort of knew that. It was it stings a little to hear it loud, but he's almost as offended that she didn't trust him to know that as at the statement itself.
Phantom Pain, you are kind of probably the least distracted by the kind of rocking of the truck on kind of less and less well paved roads here. So you may be the first to feel the like slight tremor in the ground. That's kind of underneath and unrelated to the rocky road itself. What do you do?
I think I, kind of, I'm going to assess the situation by kind of partly dropping through the truck.
It's just like taking a look down below.
Yeah, to kind of like focus on observing what I can. So I'm still moving with the truck as best I can, but I want to try and get a sense of what's going on here. Okay,
yeah. So we get a panel of you kind of sinking down below the chassis of this trunk, just like looking around, here among the tires and the gravel. Sure, roll.
I'm trying to be alert with all my senses, both my natural and supernatural ones.
Roll with superior.
So that's a 10.
You get to ask 2 questions from the assess list.
Plus my Harbinger question.
Oh, wow, yes. You do have that Harbinger question.
Hey, baby. I'm going to just mute while I decide which questions for 1 second.
Legit. So, so Phantom Pain, you've seen, Raggedy Jan, you've seen Phantom Pain kind of mysteriously and unexpectedly drop from the back of the truck down to the road below.
Let's start with what is the biggest threat?
Yeah. Well, it's obvious once you're down below. It's obvious the ground is shaking. Like there are tremors incoming, and I think you have. I think you'd have read up, on some of the supervillains of New Gauntlet City. So the name Johnny Earthquake would be familiar to you.
All right, and can I pull what here is most vulnerable to me to be what here is most vulnerable to anyone on our team? In case the answer isn't me specific.
Yeah, sure. What is going to be vulnerable to anyone on your team? Johnny Earthquake, his usual MO is knocking over banks, literally, right, and then taking the contents. But he's definitely someone who's laid low in Sherwood and occasionally shared his ill-gotten gains with the neighborhood kids there. So if anyone could get through to him, it might be Raggedy Jan.
All right, and I think kind of as I rise up from the chassis of the car, I kind of have to. I'm almost rising up like right into the orb, and I have to skirt around it awkwardly. But I get close enough to ask, "What does the future know about this moment?"
Sure. There's like you're getting these ghostly whispers, right? And like at least one ghost says, "Oh no, it's happening for you now, the cataclysm." And there's a sense that something goes horribly wrong when you combine earthquake powers with this orb. And for many in the future, this whole stretch of highway is a blasted wasteland.
All right, yeah, I come like surging back in and say, we've got Johnny Earthquake on our tail, and if he busts this open, there's not going to be any land left to have a lake in. We've got to shut him down, keep him contained. Raggedy Jan, you might be able to talk some sense into him. Sometimes he Robin Hoods it up a little, but first we've got to get a lid on those powers.
So there'll be +1 forwards working on those answers. Remember to bring those to my attention if those become relevant to rolls. Blitz, at this point there are obvious tremors under the wheel. You feel the truck being like jerked this way and that. As the ground is starting to rock in earnest. What do you do?
I'm going to survey the road and landscape in front of us and just try and see where I can drive the most safely.
Hey, baby.
I assume that
you're unmuted, Leah. Just so you know.
Oh, whoops!
It's okay.
It's okay. I found it very comforting. I'm going to assess the situation, but I'm also going to ask: should I be pulling over?
Just asking your fellow teammates here.
Probably not.
Get some distance. We'll try to block Johnny Earthquake from getting to the van. We need to keep him away from the orb.
I'm not saying this is a great idea, but Red Robe, it seems like if you could open an even smaller hole, it would, basically be turbocharging the whole van if we opened the back door.
We'll turbocharge it right through the windshield. Like, Red Robe is not a physicist, but he's not an idiot.
I mean, that's fair, but this is a comic book.
Yeah, but I think if I'm going to use my powers, and I was thinking about it, I probably don't want to involve cracking open the destruction orb.
I would offer to use my but in the future, but my superior is lower than your freak, so I don't think it's a very good idea.
So I'm actually down to unleash my powers. But I think if I'm going to, for instance, make this van fly away, I don't want to involve the orb if I can help it.
Should we, Blitz, do you want to roll and assess first about trying to chart a path, or are you kind of...
So a question that I dropped in the chat but hasn't gotten addressed because it doesn't matter is sort of like, do I personally in fiction have any idea how close we are to our destination?
Have the Correls gone to visit the lakes as like a family trip or anything like that?
I'd buy that. Not like all the time, but I don't think I'm like Jan level, have never been out of the city. So I think it's conceivable that I've been fishing once or something.
Sure.
I think we have maps.
Right. I assume that there was some navigation going on at some point.
Yeah, you've got a sense that you're not terribly far from the lake.
Okay. Yeah.
The signs that says lake blank miles.
I think in that case, probably navigating isn't the most important thing. I think the most important direction to be going is up, and we'll sort of figure everything else out from there. Gonna be hilarious.
Blitz, you all right for Red Robe to roll that unleash as the first thing? I think you're scanning the horizon. You're seeing it, starting to roil, right? As the land is all, not standing still at all.
Yeah, I may have even suggested it to him. Like, do you think you can make the truck fly?
Gotta find out. All right, let's roll it. All right, there we go. That's a 13. 13.
Wow.
Wow. What does it look like as the truck takes off?
I think I'm sort of like hanging on to something and it's not clear whether it's more like I'm holding on because the truck is flying, or like I'm picking it up while I'm inside it. It's this sort of like, you know, kind of sideways fairy tale logic. And it, like, for the first little bit, it's kind of like definitely just like going straight the direction it was going. But we, you know, like we pick up off the road, we pick up over the tree line. It's like an extremely slow airplane. And I think that's sort of it. Is it's not like our horizontal speed has like basically not changed. Our vertical speed is like just, you know, we're just climbing sort of enough. And I'm sort of, I don't really have a plan for the next step yet. I'm kind of hoping we'll see the lake soon and go from there.
Am I driving or are you driving?
Sort of neither, I think, is the answer. Is that we're kind of on a trajectory, but we're like, I don't think the wheel is steering it, but I don't think I'm like directing it. I think it's basically just going up and straight.
So I take my hands off the wheel.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, if we land back on the ground, it will be helpful to have someone holding the wheel at that point, but that is not currently where we are.
From down below, like seismically amplified, a voice comes saying, "You're not getting away that easily with my bounty, you children." And you know, the ground throws a big boulder at you.
In this case, I am gonna pull my mask on and exit the vehicle, and I'm going to try and shoot the boulder down.
Nice.
I imagine that's unleash.
Defend.
It actually depends a little bit what you're primarily trying to do. Like if you're mostly trying to keep the van safe, I would call that a defend. Yeah. If you're trying to hit back at Johnny Earthquake, we could roll this into a directly engage.
No, definitely trying to protect the van.
Okay, yeah. Roll plus savior. You're trying to just zap the boulder out of the air, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's our panel of kind of Blitz, kind of sparking out of the flying vehicle to confront this projectile?
Yeah, I think she's feeling renewed sense of confidence. I think there's something, she feels a weight lifted having revealed her identity. So she in the air, and it's sort of this bluish whitish arc following her, and then she kind of throws a ball of lightning at the boulder, intending to break it up. She's also moving to put herself between Johnny Earthquake and the flying van.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you can see him now, like big dude, kind of brown and orange costume, and he's like standing on a pillar of rock that's starting to like rise up out of the ground.
I rolled a 8 + 1 is 9.
Okay, nice. So you're gonna keep them safe. So that's definitely going to you know, just wipe out that boulder. The van's all right, but the question is, are you going to expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation?
I think I'm going to escalate the situation. Well, no, we'll call this exposing myself to danger.
Yeah, just because you're the obvious target now.
Which means I was thinking I was going to try and provoke him and to direct it at me. So.
Well, I have good news for you. You don't need to roll a provoke because you definitely are exposed to danger. But you can tell me what you say as you're taunting Johnny Earthquake.
I don't know, something about playing in the mud or something. Picking on him for him being related to the earth.
Yeah, you're clearly like looking down on him in all senses right at this moment. Yeah. Because
God of dirt? No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Why you little Firefly will swat you out of the sky, right? Big like rock hand comes like swinging up. I'd like you to take a power.
Right. I'm going to try to defend by doing the classic move of dozens of different blitzes in the sky.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's legit. We'll have you roll that defend. So roll with Savior, Raggedy Jan.
That's an 8.
Aha. So dozens of blitzen in the sky. You keep them safe. Yeah. So there's no the hand like smashes harmlessly through a illusory blitz that Raggedy Jan has conjured up. But you are going to now escalate the situation or expose yourself to danger.
Right. And I don't feel like I was directly exposing myself to danger when I'm doing this, so I'll escalate the situation.
Well, so
I mean, or I expose myself to danger if you think that makes more sense.
No, it totally makes sense that the situation might be escalated by a bunch of blitzes suddenly appearing, right? Because of course that means Johnny Earthquake is now like throwing rocks wildly, trying to hit all of them, and suddenly Red Robe, you weren't sure who was driving the car, but you feel like somebody needs to do some navigating since there's essentially an asteroid field, right, of errant boulders now all like flung up in the air here.
That totally makes sense. Oh boy, can I see the lake? Is the lake physically visible at this height, at this distance?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Those were both successful defend rolls. So Blitz and Raggedy Jan can each pick one from the like bonus defend list, or the list of kind of benefits, right?
Right. I cleared my last condition. So.
Nice. Yeah, Red Robe, you can see the lake starting, kind of blue and gleaming down below.
Okay, well, I have a plan. I think I sort of, yell at my leaders in the back. Phantom Pain, can you fly Jan anywhere? Anywhere at all?
Not really. I can fall slowly.
Fall slowly enough?
Uh,
I think I'm gonna roll a provoke because why not? I feel like
that sounds good to me.
What's my superior?
My camera's being a little funny, but I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, my superior is 0, so this is a flat roll. But it's an 8.
Go for it.
I'm not Leah, so I'm gonna choose Carrot.
just clarify exactly what are you provoking me to do so I'm clear.
Fall slowly enough. I need you to get Jan out of this van in a way that is non-catastrophic. Hello.
Good to have you on camera, both of you. Okay, great. So the provoke.
Wait, did Leah turn her camera on when she meant to turn her microphone on? Does she know we can't hear her?
No, I just wasn't talking right now.
Okay, great. It kind of looked like your mouth was moving, but I can't tell who you're addressing when you're muted.
Probably she was talking to the baby.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Phantom Pain can fly or anything, but I think maybe she could phase us as we hit the ground or the water.
Protect us. Really exact timing and great control of my powers.
Yeah, great. Go team.
Okay.
Yes, I think that the provoke is get out of the van in some way that doesn't grievously injure Jan.
Okay, so I think if I'm tracking what's going on, Red Robe has provoked Phantom Pain to get her and Jan out of this van, and it's the carrot provoke. So Phantom Pain, if you go along with this, you will add a team to the pool. What do you do, Phantom Pain?
Why would I not try to grab my friend and try and phase just at the moment we hit the water? Am I also trying to just like take the sphere with us, or am I leaving that with you?
I intended to keep the sphere. I also intended you to fall before we reached the water, but I guess if we're already over it, we're already over it.
I definitely prefer to fall over the water
Fair enough. Hope
rather
that-
than do the thing controlled by the earthquake man.
No, I mean, fair enough.
All right.
Oh boy.
Well, hang on.
Everyone's life.
What was that unleash?
It's a 6, but if my target is Raggedy Jan, do I get one for the influence?
I'm more likely to be able to be sold that one of your assess questions somehow helps here.
Was this a defend?
I mean,
What
defend.
was the roll?
I was rolling as an unleash because it seemed like it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this seems like a use of freak to me, because indeed you're defending, but it's very much about, are your powers going to do what you want them to do at this moment?
I mean, I think it's also plausible. It's an unleash. It's a 6, but I did just put 1 in the team pool, and Raggedy Jan might help me take it out.
Okay, so like Phantom Pain, you grab Raggedy Jan, and like the two of you are like falling, intermittently phase to try and slow yourself down as like the water is getting closer and closer.
I think I got told by Red Robe that we're just trying to phase at the moment we hit the water to diffuse the blow.
Okay, great. The water's coming fast. It's a little unnerving. Raggedy Jan, do you want to try and spend that team to push this up for Phantom Pain?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like as we're getting closer to the water, I know that I need to make as much physical contact with Phantom Pain as possible in order for her to use her powers effectively. So I'm just trying to think as tightly against her as possible.
Just a glomming right on there. To make it easier for her to phase the both of you. Phantom Pain, does that work for you as a spending of team?
Yeah, so I think as we start to hit the water, we see just like it looks like it's going to be a huge disaster, obviously. But then like Phantom Pain reaches out like one hand ahead of them to kind of like ease the way, and you see that hand kind of do an Olympic diver kind of non-splash. I'm inclined to think not going to mark a condition because this is intended to be temporary. We're just supposed to hit the water once.
Fair. All right. So you hit the water. Neither of you die.
Yay.
That's the good news. We'll see if there's bad news depending on how the rest of this goes. Red Robe, I'm fascinated to know what the next step of your plan was.
The next step of my plan was to drive the truck into the water. just
drive it right in?
Yep, that was the next step. To really probably get out of it myself and throw it down as hard as I can. Like, okay. I want to get water under it. I want to get it deep. I think I probably would like to move some water out of the way so it's, like sort of pre-submerged before its impact, if that makes sense. Like open up a whirlpool and collapse it in on it.
So you're essentially pulling a mini Moses here to try and just.
But it's downward instead of forward.
Okay. And you're getting yourself out, and then you're getting yourself out of the van as well.
Probably getting myself out of the van first, and then figuring out my safety at some, in some additional further step.
Is that flashover?
I could do that. I'm happy to do that. That makes sense. I think I want to see this through first, and I'll flash over somewhere safe after. Assuming the van falls at approximately the speed that I do, and maybe a little faster if I push it.
So a lot of physics going on here, but it sounds like another unleash to do what you want to the van. Does that?
That sounds correct to me.
Okay.
All right, let's go. It also, speaking of things it sounds like to me, this sounds like extremely like taking foolhardy action without talking to my team.
That's true. I mean, you gave them some instructions, but you didn't walk through what your part of the plan was.
Right, and indeed, if I had, maybe my instructions would have been more helpful. All right, let's do it. Okay, that's a 7. So I am definitely marking the appropriate condition here, which is shit, man. It's afraid. It's definitely afraid. And then I guess I'm also going to take guilty as I, like move myself to really more a safe velocity than a safe place. I want to have eyes on the lake when this goes down. So I sort of like, perch myself on the bank, but just like suddenly I'm not, at terminal velocity.
All right. So I think as we're getting to our like last panels of this comic book, Red Robe has like, has flung the van down below the water into a trough in the water that he kind of magically pulled open for it. And then the water is like closing over the van. So like deep in the lake, we know this van and that orb are floating. And Red Robe is watching from the shore where he suddenly appeared, looking a little worse for wear. Would it be fair to say, given all these conditions? Yeah.
I'm up to 3.
But yeah, you catch sight of Raggedy Jan and Phantom Pain kind of coming up for air in the water. Only kind of a little bit blasted backwards by the ripples of that weird thing you pulled in the middle there. But you have you've taken more of the consequences on yourself. Your teammates appear to be waterlogged but safe, save for the one who is up in the sky, surrounded by a nimbus of electricity, facing down an angry earthquake man. And that may be where we close out this session. Because we'll be coming back to see the further adventures of this team. Let's real quick do a round of end of session questions. Perhaps we'll be entering battle against Dangerous Foe at the very top of next time. We will see. So Raggedy Jan, let me ask you: did you grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
I'd say I grew closer to the team.
Who made you feel?
I mean, definitely Phantom Pain, who helped me gain new insight into my powers. It was comforting and supporting, and it was really, this session, no question.
And almost told you that you were the leader, but it didn't quite take.
Right, almost. And I'll take a potential, so that gives me an advance.
Hey, nice.
Which I'll think about for next session.
Man, I was like thinking, okay, what shift can I make him? Like, well, I'm telling her she's the leader. I'm telling her what she'll do when she's bigger. This is definitely superior up. I should just glance over at her labels to see what it's down. Your superior is a 3.
Right. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, Stephen, like, it just seems so obvious to me it's superior up, but.
Right.
We lost Leah.
Oh shoot! Let me. Hopefully she'll rejoin in a sec. It's suspenseful to find out if you're going to take a condition from end of session moves. It's untraditional. I'll say that. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Let's add her back in. Hey, are you there?
Hey, yeah. I don't know. I got bounced for a second.
So it's untraditional to take a condition from end of session moves. It sounds like you think fictionally superior up makes the most sense.
Yeah, but something else unless Stephen is like, yes, no, I totally want a condition from this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't particularly want a condition from this.
Very reasonable.
I mean, I think it would be reasonable to shift my freak up. Because you were
I was gonna say freak up mundane
powers.
Freak up mundane down, then I'll say.
Okay.
All right. That makes sense. And now, Phantom Pain, did you grow closer to the team, grow into your own image of yourself, or grow away from the team?
Closer to the team and closer who told me who she was.
Oh, so you're giving influence to Blitz. Did you already have that one, Blitz?
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Then Blitz will get to shift Phantom Pain's labels.
you give turn at the beginning.
I'm going to say danger down, mundane up. Does that sound okay to you, Leva?
We saw a bit of Phantom Pain's home life.
Yeah. She's like a real person with pancakes and everything.
Yeah, no, I think I have heard that line, but I'm definitely up for it.
And you can also clear a condition or mark potential. Wonderful. All right, Blitz, did you
I'll take
grow
potential.
closer to the team, into your own image of yourself, or away from the team?
I definitely grew closer to the team.
Who made you feel welcome?
I think that moment between me and Red Robe was really helpful. It really made me feel welcome.
Wonderful. I think Red Robe did not have influence over you already, so that's a new influence you're getting. And Blitz, you can take as a reward clearing a condition or marking potential from that growing closer to the team.
I think I'm going to mark potential, which gives me an advance.
Nice. I'm excited to hear about these advances. I'm horrified that we have several moments of truth already on the table. So we'll.
Oh, come on! We've got 2 whole sessions left. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess I gotta throw really big things at you so you can make use of those.
I mean, we're about to blow off the time bomb. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Very good, very good. Well, Red Robe, did you grow closer to the team, into your own image of yourself, or away from the team?
Closer to the team, and it's close, but for me, it's Jan. I think Jan sort of stepped up to make something of my questionable earlier decisions, and that stuck out for me.
Wonderful. Okay, so giving influence to Raggedy Jan, did she already have it?
Yeah.
All right. So Raggedy Jan, how would you shift Red Robe's labels?
I feel like I'll shift his savior up because he's really been rescuing people this session and salvaging the situation with the orb, and I'll shift his mundane down.
I buy it.
Makes sense to me.
I'm going to take the potential.
Excellent.
Does this count as end of scene for condition clearing purposes, or is that going to stay marked in between sessions because we kind of stopped in the middle of the action?
Are you thinking about clearing insecure for taking foolhardy action about consulting your team?
Correct.
I buy that the scene has wrapped and that action has let you clear the condition.
Cool. Go team.
Okay. Folks, thanks so much for playing, and anyone watching, thanks for being with us. Till next time, keep on flying.